Domain 2. Describe Azure Core Services. In Domain 2, under Azure Core Services, in this model, we will cover the following topics: regions, region pair, and availability zone, management groups and subscriptions, resource groups and resources, Azure Resource Manager, Azure Compute Services, Azure Network Services, Azure Storage Services, and Azure Database Services. We are going to see about Azure regions. To understand Azure regions and its infrastructure, global infrastructure, you need to first understand some of the important physical component in Azure global infrastructures. First, we'll look at Azure Data Center. What is Azure Data Center? An Azure Data Center is a unique physical building that contains thousands of physical servers within its own power, cooling, and networking infrastructure. These data centers are located over the world, and we have around 160 plus Azure data centers worldwide. If these data centers that are building blocks of global infrastructure, and we need to understand other global infrastructure such as Azure geography. What is Azure geography? Azure geography is an area of the world that contains one or more Azure regions. For example, India, United States, United Kingdom are few examples of geographies. Why Azure geographies are important? We have two reasons for this. First, let's say all your customers are in India. You don't want to host your application somewhere in United States. You don't want every request that associated with data traveling around the world. This causes unnecessary latency, delay, and hence poor performance. You want your application data to be hosted as geographically closer to your customers or end users as much as possible. Since all our customers are in India, we want to make sure our applications and data are hosted in India. One way Azure ensures this by using geographies. Another reason is compliance with regulations. Regulated data like financial, healthcare, or credit card data may not be allowed to leave the country. Legally, your organization may be required to store such data in the same country where the operation are being carried out. Again, Azure ensures this by using geographies. So, for example, if you select India as a geography, Azure ensures that your data is always stored in India, except for certain global services. Next, we'll look at what is Azure regions. Azure region is a set of data centers that are connected through a dedicated low latency network. How many data centers does a region contain? Well, we don't have a fixed number. It varies. There are regions of different sizes. Regions could be made up of just one data centers or multiple data centers. Point is, an Azure region is a group of one or more Azure data centers. Azure has 60 regions worldwide, and you have flexibility to deploy your application and data to any Azure regions you want. You can even deploy across multiple regions to deliver cross regions resiliency. Azure region pairs. The Azure region pair is used to pair your regions with other Azure region within the same geography, such as US, Europe, or Asia, that are 3 miles apart. The resources in the paired region will be replicated between the regions. If there is any disaster within a region, such as natural disaster, power outages, civil unrest, or physical network outages, it will affect only one region. However, the resources or services will be automatically fail over to other regions in the region pair. Some of the advantages of Azure region pairs are If one of the Azure region pairs is affected with natural disaster, one region within Azure region pair is prioritized to make sure that one of the region is restored quickly. Planned Azure updates are rolled out to one of the regions at a time of to minimize the downtime and application outages. Data continues to reside within the same geography based on rules, policies, and compliance. Availability zones. Availability zones is defined as a separate data centers within a region. The region consists of one or more availability zones for high redundancy and availability of your applications and resources. Each availability zone is made up of one or more data centers equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking. The availability zones can also be defined as a separate data centers, which is located within a region. The region consists of one or more data centers for high availability and redundancy of your application and resources. Each region consists of one or more data centers with independent power, cooling, and networking between each other. Each data centers within region are separated by high-speed network and low latency network. If one of the availability zone goes down for some reason, you have other availability zones to run your applications and resources. Availability set. The Azure availability set is a logical grouping of virtual machines that allows Azure to understand how your applications are built for high availability and redundancy. To ensure high availability of any cloud hosted applications, Azure places your VMs into logical grouping called availability sets. Availability sets ensures that Azure's virtual machines are deployed across multiple isolated hardware nodes in a cluster. By deploying your VMs across multiple hardware nodes, Azure ensures that if hardware or software failure happens within Azure, only a subset of your virtual machines are impacted and your overall solution is safe and working conditions. Already set provides redundancy for a virtual machines. Already set spreads your virtual machines across multiple fault domains and update domains. If you want to leverage Microsoft's 99.95% SLA, you must place your VMs inside already set except your VMs are running with premium storage. Reason for placing your virtual machines in Azure already set is due to unexpected or unplanned hardware maintenance event, unexpected downtimes, and planned maintenance event. Fault domain versus update domain. The fault domain is defined as a grouping of underlying hardware infrastructure components that share common power, cooling, and networking. You can have 3 fault domains and 5 update domains by default. However, you can increase your update domains to 20 by raising a request with Microsoft. When you create a virtual machines in availability set, the virtual machines will be placed in the 3 different fault domains. That is 3 different rack of servers. If one of the server rack goes down due to any reason, only that rack virtual machines and applications will be affected. The fault domain protects only hardware level failures such as network outages, power failures, and hardware failures. Next is update domain. Update domain is defined as a grouping of virtual machines and underlying physical hardware that can be rebooted at the same time. In other words, update domains can also be set as grouping of virtual machines and underlying physical hardware that can be rebooted at the same time. You can have up to 20 update domains. By default, you can have 5 update domains. Update domain is used for patching and hardware maintenance. In order to place your virtual machines in update domain and fault domain, you need to remember some of key nodes. You need to create a virtual machine in the same resource group as already set. One virtual machines can be available only in one already set. You can assign virtual machines to already set only during creation of virtual machines. Azure management groups, subscriptions, resource groups, and resources. We have 4 different levels of Azure organizational hierarchy. Level 1 we have management groups, level 2 we have subscriptions, level 3 we have resource groups, and in level 4 we have resources. First we'll look at what is management groups. The Azure Management Group is the top of your hierarchical organizational structure to manage your subscriptions, resources, and resource groups. The Azure Management Groups allows you to apply your policies, provide access, allow conditions, and compliance to be applied to subscriptions. You can organize subscriptions into a container called management groups and apply your policies and conditions to the subscriptions. All your subscriptions and the management groups automatically inherit the policies and conditions applied to the management groups. For example, you can apply policies to management groups that limits the regions available for VM creations. These policies will be applied to management groups, subscriptions, resources, and the management groups by only allowing VM to be created in that region. Next level of hierarchy is subscriptions. The Azure subscriptions provides an authentications and authorization of Azure services and products. The Azure subscriptions is a logical unit of Azure services, and you can also provision resources using Azure subscriptions. You can have a single or multiple subscriptions for different department in your organization. Each Azure subscription is linked to an Azure account. With Azure subscriptions, you can consolidate the billings for each team or department in your organizations. Next level of hierarchy is resource group. The Azure resource group is a logical container that holds the related Azure resources. The Azure resource group contains all the resources that you want to manage them as a group. You can have only one resources created in the resource group. You can move the multiple resources between resource groups. The Azure resource groups helps to manage and organize all your resources. Using Azure resource group, you can provide role-based access control to all the resources within resource group. It helps to for easier management of resources and administration of Azure resources. Final level of hierarchy in organization structure is resources. The Azure resources is a manageable item that are available through Azure. The Azure resources include virtual machines, databases, storages, web app, and networking. Azure Resource Manager, which is also called as ARM. The Azure Resource Manager is a deployment and management service for Azure. The Azure Resource Manager is a management layer that enables you to create, update, and delete resources in your Azure account. The Azure Resource Manager allows you to use the management features like access control, locks, prevents accident deletions, and tags to secure and organize your resources after deployment. When user sends a request from any Azure tools such as Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, REST API, and Client SDK, the Azure Resource Manager receives this request, it authenticates and authorizes the request. The Azure Resource Manager sends a request to Azure Services which takes the requested action. Some of the benefits of Azure Resource Manager are the Azure Resource Manager is used to deploy and manage your infrastructure through declarative templates rather than scripts. The Azure Resource Manager template is a JSON file that defines what you want to deploy in Azure. Using Azure Resource Manager, you can deploy, manage, and monitor your Azure resources as a group rather than managing the resources individually. Using Azure Resource Manager, you can redeploy your Azure resources and deploy your resources in consistent state. You can also define dependencies between resources so they are deployed in correct order. With Azure Resource Managers, you can apply access control to all Azure services. You can also apply tags to Azure resources to organize the resources in your subscriptions. Using Azure Resource Manager, you can apply billing cost for Azure resources in your organization. Azure Compute Services. In Azure Compute Services, we'll start with Azure Virtual Machines. The Azure Virtual Machine is an on-demand, scalable computing resources in Azure. The virtual machine is a virtualization technologies running on the physical hardware. With Azure VM, you have flexibility to extend your physical data centers to cloud. You can create a multiple VMs with different OS such as Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. In Azure, the customers need to install the guest operating systems, patches, and the softwares and perform the configurations from their end. Next important services in Azure Compute Services is Azure VM skill sets. The Azure VM skill set allows you to create and manage load balanced VMs. With Azure VM skill set, you can create a highly available instance and you can automatically increase or decrease your instances based on application demand or workloads. The Azure Virtual Machine skill set provides high availability, redundancy, and improved performance by distributing the application across multiple instances. It automatically distributes the instances across AZ or already set. The benefit of Azure VM skill sets are with Azure VM skill set, you can easily create and manage multiple VMs. It provides you high availability and application resiliency. With Azure VM skill set, it allows your application to automatically scale up your resources based on workload demands. The Azure VM skill set works at a large scale. Next services is Azure Function. The Azure Function is a serverless solution that allows you to write less code, maintain less infrastructure, and save on cost. Instead of worrying about deploying and maintaining servers, the cloud infrastructure provides all the up-to-date resources needed to keep your application running. Azure Functions are best suited for smaller apps that have events that can work independently of other websites. Some of the common Azure functions are sending emails, starting backup, order processing, task scheduling, such as database cleanup, sending notifications, messages, and IoT data processing. Next services is Azure App Services. The Azure App Services is a service for hosting web applications, REST APIs, and mobile applications. You can build this application using any of the coding such as Java, .NET, Ruby, Python, PHP, Node.js, etc. You can run on both Windows and Linux-based environment. With App Service, you pay only for compute resource you use. The compute resource you use are determined by App Service plan. In Azure App Service is a platform as a service model. You don't need to manage your underlying infrastructure, just build your code and run your web applications. The app service such as web apps, mobile apps, web jobs, Azure Functions, and REST APIs, these apps always runs in app service plan. The app service plan defines the set of compute resources for web app to run. One or more apps can be configured to run on same computing resources or same app service plan. When you create an app service plan in certain regions, a set of compute resource is also created for the plan in that region. The app service environment consists of shared, dedicated, and isolated compute resources. Next services we are going to see is Azure Logic Apps. Azure Logic App is a cloud-based platform for creating and running automated workflows that integrate your app, data, services, and systems. With this platform, you can quickly develop highly scalable integration solutions for your enterprises and business-to-business scenarios. As a member of Azure Integration Services, Logic App simplifies the way that you can connect legacy, modern, and cutting-edge systems across cloud and on-premises and hybrid environments. With Azure Logic Apps, you can automate the below task and business process. You can schedule and send email notification using Office 365 when a specific event happens. For example, a new file is uploaded. You can also route and process customer order across on-premises systems and cloud services. You can move uploaded files from SFTP or FTP server to Azure storage. You can monitor tweets, analyze the sentiments, and create alerts or tasks for items that need review. Next service you're going to see is Azure Container Instances. The containers are preferred way to package, manage, and deploy your application in the cloud. With containers, you can deploy your application faster and is lightweight. In Azure, you can deploy containers using Azure Container Instances services. Azure Container Instances is a great solution that can operate in isolated containers, including simple applications, task automations, and build jobs. Next services is Azure Kubernetes Service. As application development moves towards container-based approach, need to orchestrate and manage resource is important. The Kubernetes is leading platform that provides the ability to provide reliable scheduling of fault-tolerant application workloads. The Azure Kubernetes Service is managed Kubernetes offerings that further simplifies container-based application deployment and management. The Kubernetes is a rapidly evolving platform that manages container-based applications and their associated storage and networking components. The focus is on application workload, not on the underlying hardware infrastructure components. The Kubernetes is an open source tool with that you can build your application with your preferred programming languages, OS libraries, or binaries. The Azure Kubernetes Service control plane is managed by Azure, and you can pay for Azure AKS nodes alone and run your applications. The Kubernetes cluster is divided into two components, control plane and nodes. In control plane, it provides the Kubernetes service and orchestration of application workloads. Control plane consists of API server, etcd, scheduler, and controller manager. Worker nodes. It runs on your application workloads. Node consists of kubelet, kubeproxy, containers, and container runtime. Next service is Azure Service Fabric. The Azure Service Fabric is a distributed system platform that makes it easy to package, deploy, and manage scalable and reliable microservices and containers. Service Fabric is also addresses the significant challenges in developing and managing cloud native applications. You can use this Service Fabric programming model or run containerized stateful service written in any language or code. You can create Service Fabric clusters anywhere, including Windows Server and Linux or on-premises and other public clouds, in addition to Azure. Service Fabric power many Microsoft services today, including Azure SQL databases, Azure Cosmos DB, Cortana, Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft Intune, Azure Event Hubs, Azure IoT, Azure IoT Hub, Dynamics 365, Skype for Business, and many more core Azure services. Next services is Azure Batch services. Use Azure Batch to run large-scale, parallel, and high-performance computing batch jobs efficiently in Azure. Azure Batch creates and manages pool of compute nodes, installs the applications you want to run, and schedule jobs to run on the nodes. There are no cluster or job scheduler software to install, manage, or scale. Instead, you use Batch APIs and tools, command line scripts, or Azure portal to configure, manage, and monitor jobs. There's no additional charge for using Batch. You only pay for the underlying resources consumed, such as virtual machine storage and networking. Finally, Azure services we're going to see is Azure Windows Virtual Desktop. The Windows Virtual Desktop is a desktop and app virtualization service that runs on cloud. The Azure Windows Virtual Desktop allows you to create Windows client machines for remote users. With Windows Virtual Desktop, you can set up multi-sessions Windows 10 deployment that delivers the full Windows 10 with scalability. You can also virtualize Microsoft 365 apps for enterprise and optimize it to run on multi-user virtual scenarios. You can also provide Windows 7 virtual desktops with free extended security updates. Bring your existing remote desktop services and Windows Server desktops and apps to any computer, virtualize both desktop and apps. You can also manage Windows 10, Windows Server, Windows 7 desktops and apps with an unified management experience. Next, we'll look at Azure networking services. We have different types of Azure networking services available in Azure. The first networking services is Azure Virtual Network. The Azure Virtual Network is the fundamental building blocks of your private network in Azure. With Azure Virtual Networks, you can allow your Azure virtual machines to securely communicate with each other's internet or on-premise networks. Azure Virtual Network is similar to traditional networks that operates in on-premise data centers. With Azure Virtual Network, you have outbound connection to it by default. You can communicate inbound to resources through public IP addresses or public load balancers. The Azure Virtual Network allows you to communicate with Azure resources through virtual network service endpoint, and VNet peering. You can also communicate with your on-premise network through point-to-site VPN, site-to-site VPN, and ExpressRoute. Azure VNet, you can filter traffic between subnets either using network security groups and network virtual appliances. The Azure routes traffic between subnets, virtual networks, on-premises networks, and internet by default. You can route traffic to subnet through route tables, and you can use broader gateway protocol (BGP) routes to connect Azure virtual networks to on-premise network using Azure VPN gateways or express route. Next services is Azure VPN gateway. The Azure VPN gateway is a specific type of virtual network gateway that is used to send encrypted traffic between your Azure virtual network and your on-premise network over public internet. Each virtual network can have only one VPN gateway. However, you can create a multiple connection to same VPN gateway. When you create a multiple connection to same VPN gateway, all the VPN channels start as allowable gateway bandwidth. The virtual network gateway is composed of two or more VMs that are deployed to a specific subnet you create called gateway subnet. The virtual network gateway's VMs contains routing tables and run specific gateway services. These VMs are created when you create a virtual network gateway. When you configure a virtual network gateway, you configure settings that specifies the gateway type. The gateway type determines how the virtual network gateway will be used and actions that gateway takes. Next services is Azure Express Route. The Azure Express Route allows you to extend your on-premise networks into Microsoft Cloud over private connections. With Express Route, you can establish connection to Microsoft Cloud services such as Microsoft Azure and Microsoft 365. Express Route connections don't go over public internet. Express Route connections offers more reliability, faster speeds, consistent latencies, and higher securities. Next services is Azure VNet peering. Virtual network peering enables you to seamlessly connect two or more virtual networks in Azure. The virtual network appears as one for country purposes. The traffic between the virtual machines and virtual networks uses Microsoft backbone infrastructure like traffic between virtual machines in the same network. Traffic is routed through Microsoft private network only. Azure supports the following types of peering: virtual network peering and global virtual network peering. Virtual network peering, you can connect your virtual networks within the same Azure regions. Whereas in global virtual network peering, you can connect virtual networks across Azure regions. Some of the benefits of Azure virtual network peering are: it allows you to connect between resources across virtual networks with low latency and high bandwidth. It allows resources in one virtual networks to communicate with resources in different virtual network. It has ability to transfer data between virtual networks across Azure subscriptions, Azure AD9s, deployment models, and Azure regions. There is no downtime to resources in either virtual networks when creating a peering or after creating peering is created. Next services is Application Gateway. Azure Application Gateway is a web traffic load balancer that enables you to manage traffic for a web applications. Traditional load balancers operate at a transport layer, OS layer for TCP and UDP. Route traffic based on source IP address and port and to destination IP address and port. Application Gateway can make routing decision based on additional attributes of HTTP request, for example URL path or host header. For example, you can route traffic based on incoming URL. So if an image is an incoming URL, you can route a traffic to a specific set of servers known as pool, configured as images. If video is in URL, the traffic is routed to another pool that is optimized for videos. Next services is Azure Load Balancer. Load balancing refers to evenly distributing load incoming traffic across group of backend resources or servers. Azure Load Balancers operates at a layer 4 of the open system interconnection OSI model. It is a single point of contact for clients. Load balancer distributes inbound flows that arrives at a load balancer's front end to backend pool instances. These flows are according to configured load balancing rules and health hooks. The backend pool instance can be Azure virtual machines or instances in a virtual machine skill set. The public load balancers can provide outbound connections for virtual machines inside your virtual network. These connections are accompanied by translating the private IP address to public IP address. Public load balancers are used to load balance internet traffic to your VMs. Internal load balancers is used where private IPs are needed at the front end only. Internal load balancers are used to load balance traffic inside a virtual network. With Azure load balancers, you can scale your applications and create high available resources and services. Load balancers supports both inbound and outbound scenarios. Load balancers provides low latency and high throughput and scales up to millions of flows for all TCP UDP applications. Next services is Azure Traffic Manager. Azure Traffic Manager is a DNS-based traffic load balancer. This service allows you to distribute traffic to public-facing applications across the global Azure regions. The Traffic Manager also provides you public endpoints with high availability and quick responsiveness. Traffic Manager uses DNS to direct a client request to appropriate services endpoint and based on traffic based on different routing methods. Traffic Manager also provides health monitoring for every endpoint. The endpoint can be any internet-facing services hosted inside or outside of Azure. Traffic Manager provides a range of traffic routing methods and endpoints monitoring options to suit different application needs on automatic failover models. Traffic Manager is resilient to failure, including the failure of an entire Azure regions. The final service is Azure Network Watcher. Azure Network Watcher provides the tools to monitor, diagnose, view metrics, and enable or disable logs for resources in Azure Virtual Network. Network Watcher is designed to monitor and repair the network health of infrastructure as a service products, which includes virtual machines, virtual networks, application gateways, load balancers, etc. And finally, you need to note here that this is not internet fraud and will not work for platform as a service monitoring or web analytics. Azure Storage Services. We have different types of storage services available in Azure. First services is Azure Blob Storage. The Azure Blob Storage is a Microsoft object storage solutions in cloud. The blob storage stores massive amount of unstructured data. Unstructured data does not have any particular data structure, model, or definition such as binary or text. The users or clients can access the object stored in blob storage either through HTTP or HTTPS from anywhere in the world. You can access the object in the blob storage either through Azure Storage REST API, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, or Azure Storage Client Library. The client libraries are available in different languages such as .NET, Java, Node.js, Python, PHP, Ruby, etc. The Azure Blob Storage supports data analytics and Azure Data Lake. The Azure Blob Storage is designed for serving images and documents that are directly uploaded in the browser. Using Azure Blob Storage, you can store files for distributor access and also stream videos and audio files. You can also write log files. With in Azure Blob Storage, you can store data for backup and restore, disaster recovery, and archiving. You can also store data for analysis by on-premises Azure hosted services. Next services is Azure File Storage. The Azure File Storage is a fully managed file shares in the cloud that are accessible through Server Message Protocol (SMB) protocol and Network File System (NFS) protocol. The Azure File shares can be mounted concurrently by cloud or on-premise deployments. The Azure Files SMB file shares are accessible from Windows, Linux, or Mac OS clients. The Azure Files NFS file shares are accessible from Linux or Mac OS clients. The Azure Files SMB file shares can be cached on Windows servers with Azure File Sync. Next services is Azure Table Storage. The Azure Table Storage stores large amount of structured data. Table storage is a schemaless and no SQL data in the cloud. Since table storage is a schemaless, it is easy to adapt your data as needs of your application evolves. Azure Table Storage is a fast and cost effective for many types of applications. You can use Azure Table Storage to store flexible data sets like user data, web applications, address books, device informations, or other types of metadata your service requests. You can store any number of entities in a table, and storage account may contain any number of tables up to capacity limit of storage account. Some of the common use cases of table storage include storing TB of unstructured data capable of serving web scale applications, storing datasets that don't require complex joins, foreign keys, or stored procedures, and can be denormalized for fast access. You can also quickly query data using cluster index, accessing data using OData protocol, link queries with WCF data service and .NET libraries. Next services is Azure Queue Storage. The Azure Queue Storage is a service for storing large number of messages. You can access messages from anywhere in the world either through HTTP or HTTPS. A queue message can be up to 64 KB in size. A queue may contain millions of messages up to total capacity limit of a storage account. The queue are commonly used to create a backlogs of works to process asynchronously. The final storage services is Azure Disk Storage. The Azure Managed Disk is high performance, highly durable block storage volumes designed to be used with Azure virtual machines. Managed disks are like physical disk in on-premise servers but virtualized. With managed disk, all you need to do is to specify the disk size, disk type, provision a disk. Once you have provisioned a disk, rest will taken care by Azure. You can use multiple managed disks with each virtual machines. It offers four types of managed disk: Ultra disk, Premium SSD managed disk, Standard SSD, and Standard HDD managed disk. Azure Database Services. In Azure Database Services, the first services is Azure Cosmos DB. Azure Cosmos DB is a fully managed NoSQL database for modern app development. Azure Cosmos DB provides single-digit millisecond response time, provides automatic and instant scalability, and guarantees speed at any scale. The business continuity is assured with SLA-backed availability and enterprise-grade security. The application development is faster and more productive due to multi-region data distributions anywhere in the world. Since Azure Cosmos DB is a fully managed service, it takes database administrations off your hands with automatic management, updates, and patching. It also handles capacity management with cost-effective serverless and automatic scaling options. Next services is Azure SQL Databases. The Azure SQL Database is a fully managed platform as a service database engine that handles most of database management functions such as upgrading, patching, backup, and monitoring without user involvement. The Azure SQL Database is always running on the latest stable version of SQL Server Database Engine and patched OS with 99.99% availability. With Azure SQL Database, you can create a highly available and high performance data storage layer for applications and solutions in Azure. Using Azure SQL Database, you can use advanced querying processing features such as high performance in-memory technologies and intelligent query processing. Next services is Azure Database for MySQL. Azure Database for MySQL is a relational database service in Microsoft Cloud based on MySQL Community Editions. Azure Database for MySQL delivers following features. It provides built-in high availabilities, provides data protection using automatic backups and point-in-time restore for up to 35 days. It also provides automated maintenance for underlying hardware, operating systems, and database engine to keep your service secure and up to date. It provides a predictable performance using pay-as-you-go pricing. Azure Database for MySQL also provides elastic scaling within seconds and provides cost optimization control with the ability to stop and start the server. It provides enterprise-grade security and industry-leading compliance to protect sensitive data at rest and in motions. Next services is Azure Database for PostgreSQL. Azure Database for PostgreSQL is a relational database service in the Microsoft Cloud on the PostgreSQL Community Edition database engine. Azure Database for PostgreSQL delivers built-in high availability data protection using automatic backups and point-in-time restore for up to 35 days. It provides automated maintenance for underlying hardware, operating systems, and database engine to keep your data and service secure and up to date. It provides a predictable performance using inclusive pay-as-you-go pricing, and also it provides elastic scaling within seconds. It provides you enterprise-grade security and industry-leading compliance to protect sensitive data at rest and in motions. It helps you to monitor and automate the simplified management and monitoring large-scale deployment. It provides industry-leading support experience. Next services is Azure SQL Managed instances. The Azure SQL Managed Instances is intelligent scalable cloud database service. The SQL Managed Instances has near 100% compatibility with latest SQL Server database engine, providing native virtual network implementation that addresses common security concerns and business model favorable for existing SQL Server customers. The SQL Managed Instances allows existing SQL Server customer to lift and shift their on-premise application to cloud with minimal applications and database changes. The SQL Managed Instances preserves all past capabilities, that is automatic patching, version updates, automatic backups, and high availabilities that drastically reduces management overhead and total cost of ownership. Azure SQL Managed Instances designed for customers looking to migrate large number of apps from an on-premise or infrastructure as a service, self-built or ISV provided environment to fully managed PaaS cloud environment. Using fully automated Azure migration services, customers can lift and shift their existing SQL Server instances to SQL Managed Instances, which offers compatibility with SQL servers and complete isolation of customer instances with native VNet support. With key features of capabilities, Azure SQL Managed Instances are requires no hardware purchasing and management, no management overhead from managing underlying infrastructure. It provides quick provisioning and service scaling, and provides automated patching and version upgrade. It provides integration with other past database engines and provides built-in high availability and 99.9% uptime SLA. Next services is Azure MariaDB. The Azure database for MariaDB is a relational database service in Microsoft Cloud. The Azure database for MariaDB delivers built-in high availability with no additional cost, predictable performance, and pricings using pay-as-you-go pricing, scaling as needed within seconds. It also provides security and provide protections of sensitive data at rest and in motions, automatic backups and point-in-time restore for up to 35 days. It also provides enterprise-grade security and compliance. This capabilities almost requires no administrations. They are provided at no additional cost. The Azure database for MariaDB can help you rapidly develop your app and accurate your time to market. Next services is Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Azure SQL Data Warehouse is a managed petabyte scale service with controls to manage compute and storage independently. Next services is Azure SQL Data Sync. SQL Data Sync is a service built on Azure SQL database, and it lets you synchronize the database you select bidirectionally across multiple databases both on premises and in cloud. Data sync is based around the concept of sync group. A sync group is a group of databases that you want to synchronize. Data sync uses hub and spoke topologies to synchronize data. You define one of the databases in sync groups as a hub database. The rest of database or member database sync occurs only between hub and individual members. Hub database must be an Azure SQL database. Member database can be either databases in either Azure SQL database or instance of SQL server. The sync metadata database contains the metadata and log for data sync. Next services is Azure SQL Stretch database. The Azure SQL Stretch database migrates your old data temporarily and securely to Microsoft Azure Cloud. Azure SQL Stretch database provides following benefits. It provides cost-effective availability for cloud data. It doesn't require changes to query or applications. It streamlines on-premise data maintenance, keeps your data secure even during migrations. After you enable Stretch database for SQL Server instances and database and select at least one table, Stretch database suddenly begins to migrate your cold data to Azure. If you store the cold data in a separate table, you can migrate the entire table. If your table contains both hot and cold data, you can specify a filter function to select the rows to migrate. You also don't have to change existing queries and client apps. You can also Stretch database. It ensures that no data is lost, and you can pause data migrations. Final service is Azure Database Migration Service. Azure Database Migration Service is a fully managed service designed to enable seamless migration from multiple database sources to Azure Data Platform with minimal downtime. Azure Database Migration Service integrates some of the functionality of your existing tools and services. It provides customers with comprehensive, highly available solutions. The services uses data integrations assistant to generate assessment report that provides recommendations to guide you through the change required prior to performing migrations. When you're ready to begin migrations process, Azure Database Migration Service performs all your required steps. Azure Marketplace. The Azure Marketplace is an online store that offers all your applications, tools, OS, and other services either built in or designed to integrate with Microsoft Azure Public Cloud. The product and services sold in Azure Marketplace come from either directly from Microsoft or third party. The Azure Marketplace is categorized into seven different categories: virtual machines, application services, API app services, web application services, Azure AD application services, data services, and Microsoft Dynamics solutions.